Most toxic and narcissistic relationships go through a cycle, the narcissistic relationship cycle. And if you're watching this video, you probably are in one of those relationships. You're becoming aware, you're becoming enlightened. Something in the back of your mind said to you, hang on, I don't know if these behaviors are normal. I've been in relationships before, but I've never really experienced this uncomfortable feeling about someone. And that is why you are watching this, like I was about 3.5 years ago, when that person I was with was making me feel awful. Even though I was putting all of myself in the relationship, I still felt that the more I gave, the less I got back. And that completely mind. And I did exactly the same. I went online and I started typing random things like, is this behavior possible? Why am I being treated this way? Countless of things. And I came across narcissistic personality disorder. And that was that. It all made sense at that very moment. When I started researching, reading, listening to podcasts about narcissism, that's when it all became clear. And I was only in that relationship for a year when I started doing my research because, as I said, nothing was making sense inside of my head. So let's get into the topic. But before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. My name is Vanessa. I will be sharing some examples of my own relationship for context. And this might help you find similarities with the situation you're in, that you're going through. Or maybe you are completely out of that relationship and still find narcissism quite an intriguing topic, because narcissists look like human beings, but they are not. They are voided of they lack what makes a human in a sense. What have those parents done to these children that they developed into narcissists? I know there's a genetic predisposition to narcissism. It's mostly environmental. So if you have children, be very careful how you treat them and what values you install in them. Because my children are my legacy and I want it to be a good legacy. But before we go any further, I wanted to say as well that I am not a clinician. I am not claiming to be a psychologist, psychiatrist. All I would say is that this content is based in my opinions and experiences. And I don't think you need a diagnosis to know that you're in an abusive relationship. That doesn't give it any more validation. You know what you're dealing with. You know what you're suffering. You know what abuse you're getting. So people like to comment and they like to give their 2 piece, which I completely am fine with. What I disagree is with the fact that in the society we live in this day and age, if you don't have a diagnosis, you cannot call someone, for example, a narcissist. Well, yes, you can, because there is value in an experience and you know what you have been through. You know that you have been abused and you've done your research. Fortunately for us, there's so much information out there. I don't need to trust a diagnosis to know that what I'm dealing with is not right. And fair enough, if you want to put comments down below, judging me, telling me I'm a narcissist because I am in front of a camera creating content so I can help other people, just go ahead. I really don't care. The only purpose of me doing this is so I can help other people, like I was helped through the same means. The first stage of a toxic relationship or a narcissistic relationship is the love bombing or idealization. And you're probably quite familiar with all of these terms because you have been doing research already. So I don't really need to go in detail what the terminology means, but I want to go in detail in how it feels. Basically, this is the period where you are enchanted. They are using their black magic in you. And I also want to say, there is always 2 participating sides when it comes to a narcissistic relationship. You and I were willing parties into this relationship. You wanted to get something out of it, so did the narcissist. You probably wanted love, care, connecting with someone, falling in love. That was probably what you were looking for. The narcissist, on the other hand, wasn't looking for this. The narcissist was looking for fuel. And this is where things start getting dark. This is when things start getting confusing because they know what they are doing. They're wearing a mask. You don't wear a mask. You are being yourself. Don't forget, they have been doing this for a very long time. Narcissists have a trail of distraction behind them. They know exactly how to get you, especially if you're not someone that have been in a toxic relationship before. You might see some red flags like I did, but again, I was never in a toxic relationship of this degree, so I wouldn't have known what was happening to me. The only thing I knew is that I felt great. I felt amazing. I felt like shit. This is surreal. How didn't I meet this person before? And you generally will meet these people in this day and age, potentially through a dating app, because the workplace romance is sort of dead. And even on a night out, when I go out, I see people glued to their phones, potentially looking at dating sites when they are surrounded by other people that are potentially also on dating sites. If people just took the time to look around rather than look at their phones, they might actually connect with someone in an organic way. But no, we are all so focused on our phones, which is an extension to our hand these days, that we don't look at what's around us. So you potentially will meet someone through a dating app. And dating apps are playgrounds for narcissists. It's like the Venetian masquerade ball, and they are all wearing masks. They are all wearing beautiful masks. And as you know, when you are on a dating app, you don't have a clue about the personality of this person. What you're gonna swipe on is the picture that you're seeing. And narcissists tend to look very good. They're quite attractive people because they take care of themselves. I'm not saying that the rest of people don't take care of themselves. I take care of myself. But a narcissist use their body, their faces as a weapon. So yes, you probably will match on that person because they're looking good and you're liking what you're seeing. So that is a right. The narcissist would have also gone with the same kind of system. They will be swiping based on the way you look. In a way, you were that chosen one based on the way you look, which is a compliment. You're a good looking person. Again, not all narcissists are beautiful, but as a general rule, they are quite attractive people. So you've matched with this person and then you start talking with them for a little bit and you're liking what you're hearing. You're liking where they're coming from. There is the type of narcissist on dating apps. You're going to have the grandiose narcissist who is going to be like, very flattering, I'm going to take you to the best restaurant. I'm going to pick you up in my Ferrari. I'm going to blow you away. You're going to have the best sex you ever had with me. They're not going to tell you that, but that's what they're thinking. And they will be insinuating it. And then you get the covert narcissist, which is more, is coming from a place of, I haven't found love yet, or my exes are crazy. I want to meet the one to connect. I believe in soulmates. That was more the case for me. It was the victim narcissist. Still quite grandiose, because don't get me wrong, all narcissists have grandiosity, but it was a little bit more tame, no so peacock-like. Although I didn't know about narcissism, I knew about arrogance. No one likes an arrogant person. So yes, you're going to be matching with someone, they're going to blow you away. Generally, the love bombing period doesn't last very long. If the narcissist sees enough resources in you, they might enter into a longer term relationship. If you're sort of like low-hanging fruit, then you will potentially only be a fling or a friend with benefits. But you were chosen by the narcissist because of the characteristics that you have. You potentially were successful in many ways. You potentially had a nice place to live, a good job, money. You look quite good for your age. So there's a lot of attributes that the narcissist will have seen in you and they're like, yeah, bingo, this is the one. I have my little roster or harem with long-hanging fruit, but I want to go for that. The premium, the price, the locally grown fruit that I want to stick my teeth into. So you were the chosen one and they blew you away. For 6 to 8 weeks, they blew you away. And you believed that that person was real. You went to the Venice masquerade ball and he was wearing the beautiful mask, or she was wearing the beautiful mask. And then you think, oh, fuck. Oh, I was the chosen one. He chose me. I knew he was multi-dating here and there. I knew he was like seen out of women, but I am the one that he chose. I am the one that she chose. So yes, I have value. I am the prize. The narcissist makes you fall in love with them. And from then on, it goes downhill. It's no longer a chase. Now they got you. So they start to devalue you. Why? Because they get bored. They go bored with you. And maybe you just really give in and they like it. But now they are like, oh, is there anything better out there? I'm sort of bored of this one. I know she's nice, she's kind. She has a good job. She has money. She's in a good place. Isn't the grass greener on the other side? Let's go and have a look at the other side and see. So through this cycle, when the narcissist has you, you no longer have the value that you had when you were being chased, when you were being love bombed. I'm going to put a little example here of what happened with me. So when I met my ex, he did tell me that he didn't want a serious relationship. He was seeing different women. I was probably the better option for him, just because, the residual value or the perks that came with me. But he did tell me that he wasn't looking for a relationship. But then what he would do is completely the opposite of what he was saying. So he would be, I don't want a relationship, but then he will want to meet me regularly. So this led me to believe two things. This guy is completely insecure about himself, or he has been really hurt in the past. He needs a person in his life that cares for him. Once I give him that love that I have in me, he will completely change. And then he will become who I want him to become for me. He would future fake me. He would, his actions and his words didn't match. And after a while, I thought he was in love with me. And he potentially really liked me. As I said, narcissists have the capacity of thinking that they're in love, because they do feel high as well from these love bombing periods. We did have good times. I'm not going to deny that. We did have really good times together. But the abuse was sort of like very passive. And abuse has really bad connotations. I have to say, he was never ever violent. He is not a psychopath. He never put a hand on me, ever. In fact, I slapped him really hard once. So I did act violently once. The reason I did that is because in the first week we were together, he cheated on me. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt because, again, I thought, he'd said, I wasn't sure that you were the one, and now I know that you are. I just needed to do that one more time to be 100% sure. Now I see it as bullshit, but at the time, because I was already addicted, this drug was on supply for me. I wanted it. So I did give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that if I was to meet someone like him today, it would be a very different story because of how much I learned throughout this whole thing. So anyway, I'm digressing here. The love bombing period doesn't last long. And as I said, if you're low-hanging fruit or you don't have a lot of attributes to you or a lot of perks, it's not going to last long. You're going to be a fling. It'd be maybe 4 or 5 months tops. And you won't be the only one he's texting throughout that period. Or she. I'm saying he, but this also applies to she. There's a lot of female narcissists out there. And when they start to devalue you, this is when you start questioning your sanity. This is when you start questioning and start your research potentially. Some people will never do any research because they just get used to the pattern of abuse. And some narcissists don't multi-date. Some narcissists, they just get married to you and make your life hell and you can never get out of it. But the vast majority, and people here on YouTube creating content like me, got out of that relationship. So we can talk to you now, give you a bigger picture of what a narcissistic relationship looks like. The devaluing period is hurtful because that's when the narcissist starts to lose interest in you and starts treating you quite badly. They start to emotionally damage you. If you happen to be in a relationship with a psychopathic narcissist, they might even get violent. They might even do fucked up stuff to you. They will definitely gaslight you, but they will start really being manipulative and Machiavellic, really dark. My ex wasn't like that. He didn't do anything nasty. He just did the emotional abuse to me. Text other women or completely invalidate me, made me feel really my confidence went down massively through the devaluing period. And then when I learned about narcissism, and I said this in videos before, I called him out and I said, I think I know who you are. Obviously, I didn't have the full evidence because I was new in my research. I was the light bulb moment, but I needed to know more. I wasn't just going to give up on this relationship based on the fact that I didn't understand what devaluing was. But when you get devalued, there's not much you can do. The more you want to repair the situation with the narcissist, the more it backfires. And you might find yourself begging for this relationship to treat you better, to see for who you are, to see your intentions are good. But the narcissist has already checked out. But I said this before, it takes two to tango. And you know when you've been tangoed by a narcissist. If you're not from the UK, you probably don't get the joke. But anyway, I don't want you anymore, so you are discarded. This is when you get discarded, when you become aware and you call them out. And that's when things get really, really bad. Potentially, through this period, you will experience PTSD. You'll be completely trauma bonded to this person. So to me, it felt like, someone just ripped open my heart and siphoned it out. I was begging him for a second chance, even though, I was begging for a second chance because I loved him so much, or so I thought that I loved him so much. And he was completely cold-hearted. He's just like, no, I don't think this is going to work. They can do really dark things throughout this period. Narcissists can behave really badly and they will start talking to other people online, download dating apps, maybe try to recycle previous flings or people that they had met. When you're being discarded, you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance because the narcissist has already made up their minds. You need to go. It's either you go or they kick you out. And that's devastating to a person. It's devastating because you're just very confused. You're traumatized. You're trauma bonded. And then this person doesn't want to know you anymore because they need to have full control at all times. You're being discarded because you have seen the narcissist for who they are. And the narcissist has already noticed a change in your behavior. They are already scanning the room for a new prey. I begged for a second chance, but he had already checked out. Not emotionally, because he never connected emotionally. Like most narcissists, they do not connect with you emotionally. You are supply. You are fuel. And the way a narcissist connects with you is depending on the level of fuel that you give him. If you give him 95 octane compared to premium, they are going to go for the premium. But when the premium becomes aware, there's nothing the narcissist can do. They become aware. When I got discarded, I had to go. I was traumatized, trauma bonded. I never had a panic attack before, but I did experience all of these really disturbing psychological threats to myself because I believed I still loved him. And even when I left, because I had to go, I still didn't want to let go of the relationship. We were apart for a while and then we went back together. It was a mutual hoover in a way, and this is very weird for me to say this. We sort of hoovered each other back. I needed closure and I needed him to love me and value me. I had made a financial investment in him too. So I needed that back somehow. I wanted it back. But more than anything, I wanted him. He was never going to be that. But he needed me for other reasons. I did ask him, when we broke up, why do you wanted me back? And he said, because of the circumstances and because he missed me. I think he did miss me. He did miss the residual value that came with me, the perks, the company, the fact that I had developed some narcissistic traits myself and that he might have found that challenging. You sort of mirror each other. I have to say now that all of that is gone. I'm back to the human being I used to be before I met him. So yes, we did get back together. And it lasted another 2 years after that. But throughout that whole period, the only thing I did is research. So yeah, these are the periods that you're going to go through in a narcissistic relationship. Love bombed, devalued, discarded. Not all narcissists hoover. Some of them might leave you alone for a very long time and then get back in touch. Some of them will do it straight away. You know, once you go and they think they lost control of you, they need to gain that control back. So they might come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I really do miss you. You know, when you left, my life hasn't been the same. And it might have only been 2 weeks since you have broken up, but they need that supply back. Maybe the fuel garage is empty and they don't have anything else. So they will still want your supply. So they will still want your fuel. And because they know you're still trauma bonded, they know that they're going to get you back. You know, it's almost guaranteed. It's rare that people don't get hoovered. You will get hoovered. Maybe a few times actually. So yes, this is as far as I'm going to be going with this topic today. And I hope you enjoy the content and you enjoy the video. And if you do, please like and subscribe. And feel free to comment as well. I try to reply to comments. I'm only a very small YouTube channel, so I have time to do that. And I actually want to engage in conversation with you guys. And feel free to ask me any questions. So until then, I just want to say thank you very much for watching and see you again very soon. Take care. Bye.